Oh, wow. Fox News alert. Trump reacting just moments ago to the shocking cancer diagnosis of former President Joe Biden. Watch.
Very, very sad situation, and I feel very badly about it. And I think people should try and find out what happened, because I'll tell you, I don't know if it had anything to do with the hospital. Walter Reed is really good. They're some of the best doctors I've ever seen. I don't even know if they were involved, but a doctor was involved in each case. Maybe it was the same doctor, and somebody is not telling the facts. That's a big problem.
Meanwhile, Democrats are ripping President Trump's big, beautiful bill after it cleared a hurdle in a late-night vote and poised for a larger vote on Wednesday.
This spending bill is terrible, and I think the American people know that.
I made a very simple case that the Republican budget is not going to help working class folks.
This budget bill is an absolute disaster. It is going to kick over 10 million people off of their health care. These guys are running the economy recklessly because all they care about is the health of the Mar-a-Lago billionaire class.
So, Harold, the Dems think this is a terrible bill, but they think it's a terrible bill for the wrong reason. It's not a great bill because we're in a fiscal crisis and we aren't acting like it. We need to cut. And I think we're adding $2.5 trillion to the debt. Is that correct?
I think it's a little more than that. That's what the forecast is.
But they're mad because you're cutting, we're not adding more.
So I think a couple of things. You and I agree on this for a slightly different reason. To give some sense, there's no doubt this bill here is the single largest increase forecasted in debt pressure of any bill that's ever been considered. Two, in the last 10 years, to your point about the spending cuts, to put some perspective, and you talked about population growth, Jesse, in the last segment in a different context, but our national debt has grown by 98%. So let's just round up to 100%. So it's doubled in the last 10 years. Our population, however, has only grown 5%. And tax collections have gone up 60%. So there's no doubt for Democrats who think we should just tax everybody, you can't do that. You have to cut spending. And for those who say we should not think about raising taxes on the ultra rich in the country, I'll give you this number. The 10 richest Americans, when you combine their net worth, they're worth almost $1.9 trillion. Now, I don't begrudge wealth, but our entire discretionary budget, which is anything but defense, Social Security, Medicare, and interest on the debt, is only $1.9 trillion. So you have 10 people with that net worth. I'm not a believer that we should overtax people, but I definitely believe we shouldn't overtax working people, middle class, and poor people in the country. The president has said that tariffs are an answer. Jesse and I have had some beautiful, big, brawling conversations about this. Tariffs largely impact the middle class and poor first. Why? Because so much of their income is used to buy things and consume things. Tax cuts, as much as the president and Republicans want to say this tax bill, extending these things are going to help middle-class Americans, the vast majority of people are going to be helped by the tax cuts are the wealthiest, because there's one other number. Over the last 12 years, the S&P has gone up almost 400%. And the only way to benefit from the stock market is if you have money invested in the stock market, and you have to have a lot for that to benefit you. So I say to Democrats, you have to cut spending. I say to Republicans, stop kidding Americans that you're not cutting taxes for the richest Americans. Why not raise taxes on those earning $2.5 million or more to pay for these things? So we may differ a little bit, but one thing we agree on, the debt is not going to go down because of this, and the people who are going to benefit the most are not middle class, working class Americans. It's going to be some people around this table and people much richer than us.
All right, Bernie Sanders. So, Katie, there is no tax on tips. I mean, I don't think that's helping billionaires and trillionaires.
No
Harold.
taxes on overtime for police officers, for example. No taxes on Social Security. Lots of tax breaks. If this does not pass, it would be the largest tax hike you've ever seen in American history, which is key. So there's lots of components to this. Harold's talking about the CBO score. You should throw that out the window because it doesn't calculate extra taxes that are paid once you get more of your money back and you put it back into the economy. It doesn't account for regulatory growth and what that costs companies. You talk about people who have large net worth. Well, yeah, those are their worth is tied up in big companies. They don't just have cash that they can just give to the government unless the companies go away. Tesla and Twitter being an example of that, Amazon. The White House today is pushing out a number of statements from all kinds of different constituencies. The Uber CEO, DoorDash CEO, Americans for Prosperity, Airlines for America, Numbers USA. These are all different groups or businesses that have different stakes in this bill, whether it's illegal immigration, travel, the economy, all those things. So they think that this bill is good for their own constituencies and it's diverse. So that's why they're pushing that out. And if it doesn't pass, Republicans won't have this opportunity again because they have full control of Washington, D.C., which is what reconciliation is all
Raise
about.
taxes on people earning $5 million or more to pay for the tax. No taxes
We
on tips.
spend more
I want all
money
of that.
the government is taking in more money today than it ever has in the history of the country. More spending and more taxing will not get that to an economic growth model.
You got to do both.
Sandra, what'd you say?
But if you don't extend the 2017 tax cuts, you're raising taxes on essentially everybody.
I don't disagree, but I don't think you should raise it on the people who need it most. Is all I'm saying. And you raise it on the
He
people.
is
that's all I'm
targeting
trying
some
to
of those people, then taxes on tips, the overtime wages that Katie mentioned as well. Also, they want to direct a lot of this money, billions, in fact, to immigration enforcement after the crisis that we all just lived through of the past few years. Just one last point on the tariffs, because there's a lot of fear mongering over this, similar to the tariffs. What I don't hear Democrats talking about right now, they love to talk about the drop in the stock market as fear built over the tariffs. And now the stock market has not only rallied back all the losses since Liberation Day. It's now higher than when they even announced those tariffs to begin with. And I don't hear a peep from Democrats on that.
Well, it's because they reversed the tariffs. That's why the market's behaving like it is.
No.
Not all of them.
Nope.
You know, there's a little box on your tax return, Harold, that you can check and you can voluntarily pay more. Have you ever done that?
I follow the Trump model. I only pay what I have to pay.
Okay, so you just want to make sure everybody has to pay more taxes under the threat of the IRS coming to your house with guns. But if you wanted to be so generous and kind because you think you want to save the country, you can do it. You don't. Can I make one point?
Please, Jesse.
I want to make a point about Medicare. Stop falling asleep. Oh, God, I almost had you. They keep on saying you're going to cut Medicare, throw these people. You know what they're doing? If you're a young, able-bodied, healthy American man, 26 years old, you don't even want to go to work, you can get on Medicaid.
Medicaid.
It's blowing a hole in the budget thanks to Barack Obama. You could live at your parents' house, play softball on the weekend, sell ecstasy on the side, not even look for a job.
I like
And you can get free health care. That's what they're doing. They're just closing that lazy loophole.
Why did you choose?
I like he adds to selling the ecstasy.
I had to make Medicaid interesting.
Why did you choose softball?
Or baseball, Katie.
All I say is pay for it and give working people the tax cuts, not the richest.
All right, we
Okay,
get it.
thank you, Howard.
Get it. Jeez. Mr. Daily Worker over here. Up next, President Trump smacks the boss around.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.